Your soul had a dream, your life is it. How to be held by life when it feels like everything is falling apart. This is chapter 1, Fall into My Arms. In 2017, I had a spontaneous, mystical, unitive experience that would leave me forever changed. As I rode the tube to my kirtan teacher training in West London, I had no idea that my soul was scheduled to go deeper than ever before. Kirtan is a key practice in bhakti yoga, the yoga of devotion. And for weeks, we'd been learning about the rebellious poet saints of ancient India, singing the name of the divine and chanting sacred Sanskrit mantras passed down through the ages. It was a mystic's dream to be merging with the sacred day after day. My fellow students, a rare kind of devotional, longing to intimately experience union with the divine and fascinated by the ancient science of sound. Basking in the original sounds of the cosmos was a kind of heaven I'd always dreamed of but never knew existed. On this particular day, we were completing a 2-day exercise led by my teacher and friend, Nikki Slade. Gathered in circle, we took turns to stand in its center while the other students tried to knock us off kilter by using both criticism and praise. The student in the center had to sing their way back to the divine while navigating the jagged rocks of criticism and praise in order to be a clear channel for the divine to work through them. The moment I stepped into the center of the circle, I knew something significant was about to happen. Without warning and mid-sound and movement, my body froze and I was unable to move. As Nikki checked that I was okay, I could feel the veil to the unseen world of spirit becoming really thin. And I heard clear instructions which I relayed to the group. I said, I'm being told that I need to use my voice to let Shakti move through what's been frozen. But to do so, I need the space to be held. Is the space held? Nikki instructed the class and said that the space was held. Then, as I stood in the center of the circle, my hands moved forward several times, parting the veil like a ballerina dancing on stage. Suddenly, in one swooping movement, my arms and torso flung up and down as I entered a trance-like state. My consciousness was hurtled to the center of the earth, and I found myself in an ancient pool of primordial water, being cradled in the arms of a presence of the great cosmic mother, original mother, great mother of us all. I hadn't consciously seen her before this moment, and yet she felt deeply familiar, as if I'd always known her. She caressed my face, rocking me, soothing me, singing to me and through me. I looked up and was shown the gates of life, which all souls enter when we take our first breath and exit when we exhale our last. I saw that everything in the cosmos is held together by an intelligent pulse through the beating of our hearts and the inhale and exhale of our breath. I saw that this life is a mere stitch in the tapestry of our soul's journey, and that all who are here on earth now chose to be here at this pivotal moment of change, healing, and possible rebirth for humanity. In the heavens above was a canopy of stars in a black cosmic sky that went on forever, while I was being cradled in the arms of the great cosmic mother, who I experienced like the most fertile soil and the vast night sky, an experience of comfort and blackness, and as both ancient and timeless, familiar yet mysterious. I was surrounded by a group of ancient beings, a collective consciousness who introduced themselves as the ancient grandmothers of the earth. Made of the earth and the cosmos, star and soil, ancient and future, guardians of the sacred waters of this planet, ancient ancestors of us all, keepers of the earth, connecting us through our ancestry to the original mother of us all. They sang ancient songs through the ages to all of humanity, unbroken vibrational songs. It was the most intimate, sensual experience with more love, sweetness, compassion, understanding, and holding that I ever thought was possible. Receiving this love, tenderness, and witnessing satiated a hunger, a separation, and a grief within me that I'd always felt yet was unable to name. The grandmothers then began singing to me and through me. Songs, words, and melodies I'd never heard before sang through me in languages I didn't know. Later, when I shared this experience with Yeye Tish, a spiritual teacher whom I have deep respect for, she told me about xenoglossy, a phenomenon in which one can speak and understand a language without having prior knowledge of it. Some say this is the soul connecting with past lives. Others believe that the language is being channeled from the ancient consciousness held in the memory of the earth. The great cosmic mother soothed my soul as if to say, we know this human journey can be hard, that the separation we all feel is at times excruciating, how difficult it can be to not know that you're held in our arms and not to feel held by the sacred spirit of life while you're here on earth. But we've never left you, and at any moment you can return to the sacred pulse of life. Through reconnecting with the sacred pulse of the earth, you'll reconnect with the sacred pulse of the cosmos. The sacred is woven here on earth just as deeply as it is in heaven. The grandmothers then showed me my ancestral line and all our ancestral lines. I saw how long our disconnection from the divine feminine, from the earth, has been going on, and how this disconnection from her has resulted in so much grief and disconnection within humanity. And I understood that until we reconnect with her, we'll remain separate, both individually and as a species. They showed me all the trauma, pain, and harm that this separation has caused. They showed me how all souls who choose to come at this time are part of the collective cellular healing of humanity on earth. How each soul holds a different thread for the healing and evolution of humanity. I was shown that when we close off our hearts to protect ourselves from the pain, we also close ourselves off from the joy and the sweetness. And that to experience the ecstasy, we also need to experience the agony. All of this is part of the great adventure of life. We need to embrace autumn, fall, and winter just as much as spring and summer. These feminine seasons have so much wisdom and nectar for us too. I traveled through my maternal ancestral line all the way back to the original mother, the mother of us all. She had held me through all the heartbreaks and all the severings in my life, in my mother's life, in her mother's life, my grandmother's life, and on and on and on it went, all the way back to the beginning. She showed me all the births and all the deaths. She assured me that this whole time she'd never left my side or anyone else's, as if to say, I know that the human experience can be challenging for the soul, but it's also so sweet. Don't shut yourself off from it. Remember why your soul chose to come. It was the most beautiful, compassionate, sensual, and tender moment of my life, and one that is deeply imprinted within my cells. I can still touch and taste it now. I took a deep breath and felt my torso rise and fall as my consciousness traveled up from the watery caverns at the center of the earth and into the room in a studio on a busy street in West London. As I came out of the spontaneous trance state, eyes still closed, I could feel myself slowly moving back through the veil, and I could sense the holding of my classmates. Nikki explained to the class that we just experienced something deeply sacred, and she instructed them to give me space as I integrated it. We did our closing chant, and my body shook as the Shakti energy physically traveled up and down my spine and then throughout my entire body. Shakti is the Sanskrit word for the spiritual cosmic energy of the divine feminine. I experienced being showered by codes of light right down into my cells, as if heaven was merging with the earth and something ancient was being awakened and activated deep within me. During the lunch break that followed, a fellow student spoke with me about one of the songs she'd heard me sing while in trance. She knew it as an ancient goddess chant from her lineage, which was different from my own. Later at home, I listened to a recording of the chant, and while I'd never heard it before and wasn't even aware of the goddess to whom it was devoted, I couldn't deny that this was one of the songs that I'd sung. Amazed by what had happened that day and unsure where to even begin to process it, I went to bed. But the Great Mother continued to move through me. It was the first of the visits from her and the ancient grandmothers that would continue every night for many months. This mystical experience with the Great Mother propelled me into a relentless, deeply physical journey of healing, ancestral, societal, cultural, and personal, in which I was forced to look at all the ways I denied the feminine, pushed down my anger or grief, attempted to bypass my own humanity, projected God onto anyone or anything outside of myself, and become disconnected from the earth, the sacred. Not quite ready to share the details of my mystical experience with the world, I dove into creating oracle card decks as a way of bringing the transmission and visions of it into form. The artwork for the Fall Into My Arms card, which is in the Starseed Oracle, and that's an oracle I co-created with Danielle Noel, is one of the pieces based on this mystical trance experience. It would take me many years to find the words to speak about my mystical experience with the Great Mother and grandmothers. These are those words, and this is that story. Throughout the years that followed, I continued to receive teachings directly from the Great Mother, and these have completely transformed the way I live my life and see the dream our soul had to be here now. I share them here with you as offerings so that no matter how dark it gets or how much it feels like life is falling apart, maybe you'll feel a little less alone with nothing to hold you. May these pages help you remember the dream your soul had before you chose to come.